People of YouTube, religious fanboy here again, and we're gonna be reviewing um Kino's Journey, the Beautiful World, episode 1. I I really enjoyed the mystery of this episode. Um Kino is traveling to this city that she hears is like this very nice and peaceful city. She comes across another person heading there where and he hears something that like, oh, he's looking forward to going to this city because he's able to well, I guess I should say country since they call them countries. The country that they're heading to, he says, oh, you're allowed to kill. Like, there's no law against killing people. And like, he talked about how, like, oh, like how he didn't like all these rules and limitations and laws, and like how restrictive they were. Like, he thought they were so restrictive. So it was like, oh, this is cool, like not so many rules. Just kind of like he just would rather not have those restrictions, which I think that's kind of interesting how it goes into the theme about kind of this whole theme, if you think about it, of like growth and characters. Like, this episode is really smart, and I really enjoy it for like its smart commentary. Besides some blood in the end, I recommend this episode. Um, but like Keno shows up there. She's something that she does is she stays for 3 days in a country, then leaves. Um, just so she never decides, just so she never becomes too attached to any one location. And she's like kind of worried about after talking to this guy to that guy. We see him later in the end, but so, and like she's surprised how nice it is in the town after being told upon entry that, like, oh, killing is like just kind of when the people meeting her at the border of the country in kind of confirming what the other guy said, that like people are allowed to kill there. Um and the mystery is really cool just because like Keno starts asking around and like notices guns in places, and like, and as the episode goes on the mystery kind of builds, and like there's this one clerk that like has a shotgun at the back of like his store type place, and she's like, when you decide when to use that, and like he talks about, like you'll just know when it arises. You like, he talks about how I don't usually do premeditated stuff. It's just whenever like he feels need to, he does. And the the guy that Keno meets on the way in there, and like you see him later, talks about like this killer called Raygun or something, who it's assumed he escaped there to that place because like he was known for being a mass murderer, and then like they said like he disappeared, and like you find out he is there, and like in the end the guy that Kino meets on her way to the country shows up and tries to rob her, and in the streets of the country, and they and all the city people in um including the people that were eating brunch with Kino before this, they they pulled out their weapons, like their guns and like their crossbows and stuff, and they kill the guy for the guy threatens to shoot and kill Keno and take her stuff when she refuses to give it to him. And then like she jumps behind her motorcycle while he starts finding his gun, and then the citizens of the country um start shooting at him mainly with arrows. And this is kind of where like the blood stuff comes in. And then Ray, then the old man that was um having brunch with Kino at the hotel she was staying at during this episode, she he reveals himself to be the ray gun person that like the guy was talking about earlier, and he kills the guy. And I really like the different character dynamics, because like I just think that like was really interesting and kind of tragic how the only person with really clear conscience, which I like how you, since this is first episode, there's like not much of a backstory given on Kino, but like you know she has a gun, and like you don't know, and like you see her like practicing with it in her hotel room before she goes to bed, so you don't know how she's gonna react until she's confronted by the guy and stuff, and like you get the idea that she doesn't want any trouble, and she refuses to fight even when like her life is threatened. Like she jumps out of the way and just tries to leave peacefully. And I just thought that was really interesting, because there was, and I feel like that kind of like shows kind of like, I feel like this episode kind of has a lesson of like, and like something that I've learned through testimony is like kind of, and I've said this a couple times during like ministry talks and like other times I've done ministry, like it's really hard to grow in a place that, in a scenario where there aren't boundaries, because you don't have reason to grow without boundaries. and I thought that was this episode did a good job explaining it, and I thought that was interesting how it talked about like kind of how she's the only person really portrayed as being innocent, and she's the only person that you meet in the episode that doesn't result to violence. And I just thought that provided really interesting lesson, and like kind of goes along with like Christian theme of like how some things aren't frowned upon by the world standards, but with God's standards they are. And like kind of just like listening to God and doing what's godly, even if other people might even encourage you to do otherwise. So, or try to get you to do something else. And I just really liked this episode. It was really smart and had this cool Christian lesson told in an interesting way. And I really like kind of the mystery aspect of the episode. I thought that was cool. Good way of explaining it. I thought it was fun. With that being said, may God be with you, and see you next time. Bye!